Hello, and welcome to the Loveology podcast, where we talk about love and life with laughter. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Jason.
He's the carefree one.
She's the serious one.
And we're married.
We have been since 2012, and we like to think of ourselves as a couple of loveologists.
Not because we are the experts, but because we just love love.
We enjoy studying and talking about it, so we thought, let's just start a podcast.
A place where we can share what we have learned about love, relationships, and marriage.
You can share what you've learned, and we can all grow together.
So here we are. Are you ready?
Let's get started. What's going on, world? It's another episode of Loveology Podcast. We in the house, baby. What it is, what it do.
Hello.
How you doing, babe?
I'm good.
We got another day. It's another episode. Man, I'm excited.
Me too. You know why I'm excited?
Why are you excited?
Because our baby has been sleeping through the night consistently.
Yeah,
Finally,
he has.
y'all.
He has. He is. He is in there taking his long sleep. How long? How many hours? About 8 hours or so?
No, 10.
10 hours of sleep.
Yeah. You're really supposed to be getting 12, I think, at night. But he takes naps in the daytime. So.
Well, that's what's up. So shout out to Isaiah for taking your sleeping all through the night. Through the night.
Mama getting some sleep. It took way too long. He's way too old to have just now be consistently sleeping through the night. But it's here now. So
it's here.
I'm excited.
So shout out to Mama getting her some sleep. Shout out.
And how are you? What are you excited about?
Man, I'm excited because Cedric the Entertainer gave us a shout out.
Oh my gosh. I'm excited about that too.
So shout out to Cedric Entertainer. Appreciate you in conjunction with Cameo. So if you haven't listened to that quick snippet, you can actually just go back to episodes before us. You can see it's a bonus episode. It says promo Cedric the Entertainer. So check that out. He shouts out the Loveology Podcast. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And while we're on it, what charts were we on this week? Love and relationship charts. Sweden
was one. Yeah. Shout out to Sweden, man. Appreciate y'all for listening. And I saw a big uptick in the UK.
Yes.
So I'm assuming we're going to be on the charts for the UK here coming up next week.
UK.
So shout out to the UK, England, and all that. You know.
Oh, and South Africa. Yes. Yeah, that was a newbie too. So we love you guys. Thanks for listening to us.
Appreciate y'all. Keep spreading it. And all the other countries, man. There's a lot of them. Ireland, you out there. You said Sweden already.
Yes.
Obviously, America, Canada, Mexico, Chile. You know what I'm saying? I've been seeing Chile been popping in there. You know, so it's a lot of different countries. All my African countries, the European nations. You know, it's just a lot, man. Where we at? Germany. I mean, we have to do an episode to name them all, but we definitely appreciate y'all. Keep sharing, and we're gonna keep growing this thing, and we're gonna keep spreading the love, because that's what this is all about. Yeah. Loveology, baby. Yeah.
And it just goes to show that love is universal. You know,
yes,
all is worldwide.
said love and money.
Yeah, I guess so. Before the invention of money,
right? Right. So love comes. First.
After the invention of money.
Yeah. So, babe, what are we talking about today?
Man, we are talking about something super important, but I hope we can have a lot of fun with this, because I'm chilling, right? With this topic, but it's very, very hard for some couples,
right?
And that is friends of the opposite sex.
Dun, dun, dun. You can't have no girlfriend. How you gonna have some friends? I'm the only friend you need.
No.
So you don't subscribe to that?
No, of course not.
Okay. Well, let's talk about it.
So let's talk about it, y'all. This is, like I said, big topic. Basically, this is like an age-old question of whether you can truly have friends of the opposite sex. And we are talking about long-term committed relationships and marriage. And some of these issues I feel like are specifically geared toward married people. And I'll try to remember to say that before I jump into that. But, because marriage is just a different level of commitment. So we need to, sometimes things may be a little bit different, versus, and when you're married versus long-term committed relationship. Right. So anyways, we're going to jump into it. So Jason, what do you think just in general is it possible to have friends of the opposite sex?
It is possible.
Really?
Yes.
Truly, you believe that?
Yeah.
So
Matter of fact, not only is it possible, but people doing it all the time. Now the question is,
okay,
are you having sex with your friend?
Oh, Jason. So I should say platonic friends. If you're having sex with your friends, they're not your friends. That's something else.
They still could be friends. It's just,
Well, okay, let me specify. Let me be specific. Can you have platonic friends of the opposite sex?
Yes, I believe you can have platonic friends of the opposite sex.
So I've always believed yes as well, but now I'm kind of wondering.
Uh-oh.
And so we will get into this later on, but I've always had friends, male friends. But as I just like really reflect, I'm like, were they really my friends? So we're going to talk about that.
Let's get it on. Let's get into it.
And I still have male friends. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
So first we definitely want to talk about, though, I think that a lot of people, well, actually it could be a question now. I think that now that people are getting married older, when they're older, that naturally they're going to have friends of the opposite sex.
Right.
So I think this is still a question of whether you can, but I think the bigger question now is that people say yes, and then, but how do you stay friends of the opposite sex and like still respect your current partnership? Right. So we are definitely going to talk about that, boundaries of how to do it. But first, we want to talk about times that I actually feel like it's not okay to have friends of the opposite sex.
Okay.
And I think that age could play a factor.
Really?
I really do.
Smell like an entanglement.
Why you say that?
I'm just saying, you went straight for the age. Huh?
Well, I mean, I guess I should say emotional maturity. That's what I should say, because I was emotionally mature enough to have friends of the opposite sex, and at 17, and it not be anything else.
Yeah.
But some people, men specifically,
why it always gotta be to me?
Because I think y'all, when you're younger and you're 18 and 19 and your hormones are like raging out of control, or even before then, I think it's harder for y'all to not see a woman in a sexual way, because that's all y'all thinking about at a certain time period of your life.
I disagree.
Okay, you're the man, so let's hear it.
I just disagree with you.
So is there a certain time in your life that your hormones were raging a little bit more and you thought about sex with other women more?
Yeah.
So did you ever think about any of your female friends? Like, did you think about sex with them?
Possibly, maybe. But here's the deal. but no, what I'm saying is maybe they wasn't even maybe they wasn't in the friend category. They wasn't in the friend zone in the first place.
So you were after them.
I wouldn't say I was after them.
Did they know that you didn't see them necessarily as a friend, but you just hanging around, sniffing around until your time comes? Well,
it's not even that. It's like you may be doing your own thing and you can see them as something, maybe. I don't know. You're not putting them in the friend zone category 100%. You know what I'm saying? It's like you just doing your thing. You're just doing you. You're not look at them as a boyfriend. You're not looking at them as a girlfriend, but at the same time, you're not telling them your real deep secrets as a friend. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just what would you call it? Like what would you call a friend that's not really your close friend, but it's just your acquaintance. That's all they are.
Oh.
Yeah.
But do they know that they're an acquaintance to you? It's just one of them unspoken things of like.
Yeah, that's just one of those things. You know what I'm saying? Do you want some of your friend girls know that they are our acquaintance opposed to your quote unquote friend?
They should.
How? How would they know?
Because of the way that I interact with you.
Well, they should. By the way I interact with them.
Okay, so so this is kind of what I was saying earlier about actually when I think back on my friendships, a lot of them were these sort of situations, but I feel like I was their friend, but they really liked me, actually.
Okay.
So I feel like maybe this was happening a lot in college years, where, you know, I had a boyfriend. Like I came into college with a boyfriend. I was with him for 4 years or something like that. And I met a lot of guys. We were friends, you know. And then as soon as I broke up with my boyfriend, all of a sudden, all these guys that are my friends.
Acquaintances?
No, we're friends.
Who did y'all, who laid out that law? That were just like when we was dating, you said we're exclusive.
Yeah.
Did you say we're friends and that's it?
I'm saying in our interactions, like hanging out with one another, because I was in a long distance relationship. So in college, I'm hanging out with guys and girls.
Right.
And some of them are having a personal conversations with me about their girlfriends or whatever. Right. So we're, I feel like, on another level past acquaintance.
Did anybody lay those lines down?
No, but they should have known that they were being put in the friend zone.
They don't know. They don't know what you're thinking. They may think that you might be putting them in the dugout.
They
know what I'm saying?
So my thing is, I feel like women and men think differently about this, because when we put you in the friend zone, you are in the friend zone. You are my friend. You are my brother.
We've heard of that before.
And then what?
And then you end up getting with them.
So you just don't trust that?
I mean, everybody's different. That's why you gotta, it's between you and that person. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gotta lay the laws down.
So
if you don't, then it could be misinterpreted.
Well, see, this is why I'm kind of struggling with this now, because when I was younger, I had an older woman tell me, she said, any man that likes you enough to be friends with you will like you enough to date you.
Not necessarily, but that's, not necessarily. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause you could be friends, you know what I'm saying? You don't necessarily mean you want to date them though.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, clearly I still feel that way because you are still allowed to have female friends. I don't know if allowed is the right word.
That's totally not the right word.
Well, you are.
So you're allowed to have male friends. No. That's who you are. You want to have male friends. Who am I to say these can't be your friend because they are the opposite sex of you?
You're my husband.
Man, but that restricts who you are as a person. Can you control yourself? You know what I'm saying? Are you attracted to them? You know what I'm saying?
I agree. Like I said, at the end, but sometimes I'm kind of back and forth, but I'm still cool with you having female friends.
And then some guys would say, well, with a woman, a man having female friends, if the female switches up and just want to come after me, I can physically keep her off of me. But for a female, for the most part, some men would say that if y'all studying or something and a man wants to, turn it up a notch, it's kind of hard for him. He might physically do something that he don't supposed to be doing.
Like assault you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what some men would say.
Well, some of y'all act like y'all so weak. If a woman get naked in front of y'all or something, y'all got to do it. So
it's strengths and weaknesses in different departments. So you saying that men are mentally weak and women are physically weak.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah. So we can say the same thing. Like, okay, well, what if this woman comes in front of you butt naked? Okay. Then what are you going to do?
Hey, man, you got to turn the other cheek. Come here. Slap that other cheek. But yeah, it just depends on the person.
Okay, so emotional maturity.
Okay.
Basically, kind of bring it all the way back. I just feel like I still feel like at a certain age, it's harder for men to be friends with women. Mm-hmm. And I just think it's age sometimes. And again, emotional maturity.
Yeah.
But you still disagree.
Oh, I mean, I'm with you. I'm with you on this. Hey, and while we at it, this is going to be a great topic for us to talk about it, right? The live discussion. So get ready. Wednesday, we're coming up. 6 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern. We're going to do a live discussion on Facebook. So we want to hear all about you and your relationships, or what you think. Is it possible for your man, or is it possible for your woman to have a friend of opposite sex, and why? Tell us why. Let's have a discussion. Let's talk about it.
Absolutely.
Wednesday.
We want to hear what you're thinking.
Roger that.
Okay, another scenario where I feel like maybe you shouldn't have friends of the opposite sex if there's a history of infidelity or a violation of trust.
Hold on 1 second. Yes, that is true. Also, if you have a situation about this, you want to talk about it go ahead and email us. Email us. Shoot us an email, loveologypodcast@gmail.com. So even though you can't make it on the show, you can at least, we can talk about it on a live discussion. You can catch the recording. So loveologypodcast@gmail.com. So back to you were saying, if you saying that there's a history of infidelity, and what else?
Violation of trust.
Violation of trust. Then you can't have no friends.
I don't know if you could never or ever have friends, but I think depending upon like this is a very situational sort of thing. So, but I think that like if this just happened, right, then you definitely have to understand your partner not wanting you to have friends of the opposite sex. I think you have to understand it. So
let me ask you this. Have you ever had a wreck before, a car wreck?
Yes.
Okay. How many times? Once. Okay.
I wasn't driving though.
Oh,
so
okay.
is this me driving?
Yeah.
I never been in a car.
Okay, you never been in a car wreck. Okay, let's just use me as an example. I've been in a few car wrecks, right?
Yes, and I know why.
A lot of them wasn't my fault. Okay. No, it was only like maybe two was and technically black ice is still my fault, but it's technically not my fault. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So that's Arkansas, black ice. So, do you think just because I had a car wreck and it was my fault, right, and I caused a lot of damage, right? Is it fair for that same insurance company to say, you know what? You can't get no insurance from me no more.
This is different.
I'm just asking a question. Question. You don't think that's fair? No. Why? Why is it not fair?
Because you still need insurance.
You don't necessarily have to have insurance.
Yeah, you do. It's law. You're supposed to have insurance in 7 different places.
Well, a lot of times you can just have the money. As long as you can pay for the medical bills and everything.
No, I thought you had you were required to have car insurance.
I think some states you only have to have is liability, man.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, but let's liability, but let's stick with full coverage. So, why would that insurance company give them full coverage insurance again if they done wrecked the car and cost all this money, cost all this damage?
I don't know.
I think why? You know why?
Why?
Because people change.
People
but go through training.
Okay, well, listen though.
Okay,
they also now they're getting away from that, but they used to increase your premium when you have an accident.
Okay.
Because now I don't trust you.
But eventually it goes back down.
It does.
Okay.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't know how long of the time frame, you should have this requirement or whatever. Yeah. But
I think it's best for people to be people. If you feel like because me personally, it's just me. I'm friends with a lot of different people. I'm friends with people. I don't categorize them as boy or girl. They're just people.
Okay.
So therefore, if I connect with you on certain levels intellectually, I don't want to have to check. Oh, dang, she's a girl. I can't talk to her about that. You know what I'm saying? I can't have her as a friend because she's a girl. You know what I'm saying? So what's your take on that?
I totally agree. Right. Okay. I totally agree with this. But if your partner, if you've done something to hurt your partner and this is what they need in order to feel safe, that's your job to do. If, in order to reconcile this relationship, your highest priority relationship.
So basically you saying that, you and your partner need to have a conversation on what that timeline looks like for you to be healed. Yes. So it's kind of like if you love to swim, right? But if you didn't slip and fell and had a gash open up on your leg, it's probably not a good time to go swimming.
Right.
It'll probably take some time to heal that wound before you jump in there with all that chlorine or whatever else that's in there.
Yeah.
So I can rock with that.
Yeah. Or, it'll mean that maybe there will always be some stricter boundaries put in place now.
Always?
It could.
I don't like that word.
Hey, it could be that there's been such a, breakdown of trust that it's like, okay, well, now I feel a little bit better.
Now you can't go to the strip club no more.
You can't do that anyways. But maybe, okay, you want to have friends of the opposite sex, but now there's just got to be a different level of boundaries where,
Yeah.
because I don't know how to do this otherwise. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've actually been on the opposite end of this where I had a male friend that cheated on his girlfriend, and
he was your friend,
and he was my friend. I was not the person that he cheated with,
right?
But she was asking him to delete all girls from his phone, and he did not want to delete mine. He was like, "But she's never done anything. We're just friends. Like I would never do that with her. She would never do that with me. Like it's just not an issue. You know what I'm saying?"
Right.
And I think that he actually did not delete my number now that I think about it. And we continued to be friends.
Right.
But actually we ended up stopped being friends later on because of his girlfriend. Right.
Oh, wow.
But that's fine. Like, and there's something else that I wanted to talk about.
But did you say, nah, dude, like you done got caught cheating. You need to take my number out your phone and we'll circle back.
I explained to him that I understood if that's what he needed to do, then that's what you need to do. And this is, again, something that we'll talk about later on, but I guess we can talk about it right now. But as far as like, what does these sort of friendship look like? So your friends of the opposite sex should definitely have your best interest at heart in your relationship that you're currently in.
Right.
That should be,
number one.
So because I've had a lot of male friends, I know my place, right? Like, and it's okay.
Right.
We're not together. We're friends.
Right.
So even though I hate losing my friends,
right.
But if your girlfriend is not comfortable with me, then I understand.
Right.
That's the, we all want our partners. Like, I want you to be happy.
Right.
So if she's not comfortable, then I don't want to cause any problems. We can stop being friends. It's all good,
Right. Just be Facebook friends.
Yeah, Facebook friends or whatever, and even if that's the person that you're choosing to be with and they're uncomfortable, then I can't do anything but respect that, because I don't want to be with you. So I'm very clear about that.
Yeah.
I'm truly your friend. So I love you as a person and I want what's best for you. So we can stop being friends.
Right.
And so you can be happy with your partner, who is the person that is sharing your life together.
And I see some compromise, not all, but some couples compromise to help monitor what's going on on Facebook. They have a Facebook page where it's, both of them, and on one page they delete their individual accounts and have one account. I think that's a good idea. What you think?
Yeah.
If that's the reason. Some people just don't fool with Facebook.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And some people, like the other partner may not want to be on Facebook, but it's like, well, what about such and such? You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
Well, just put it all together.
Yeah. So in that particular situation, in that moment, he felt like fighting for that. And so, I told him that he didn't have to do that. If it was a problem, then we can stop being friends. That's basically what ended up happening later on. She just never liked me, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's like, she never liked me, and it got to the point where he was starting to not tell her that he was talking to me and things like that. And I said, "Oh, I don't like this.
How did you know that how did you know that he wasn't telling her about you? You guys
I asked him.
Oh, you just asked him straight up.
Yeah, I asked him. I said, because first of all, she would smile and grin at me, right? I didn't know that she didn't like me, right? And she would be happy when she saw me. But then he finally told me one time that she was did not like me. Like, she would call me the female dog, word.
Oh, wow.
And I was so shocked because I thought that we were all cool. I thought we were cool, but she did not like me. And so he finally told me that. And so after that, I'm kind of like, well, I don't, I don't like this. I don't like somebody faking. I don't fake like that, right?
Right.
So basically what happened is they conceived a child. She got pregnant, his girlfriend. And I was like, okay, so finally, like, she's gonna be okay with me now, right? Like,
Yeah.
because I don't know if she knew that he had told me that she didn't like me.
Right.
I doubt that he did.
Right.
I doubt that.
Yeah, I doubt it too.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, surely, she's gonna be cool. So I was like, can I come see the baby? And he said, I'll send you a picture. And I was like, we're not actually friends. Like, friends are able to go see each other baby, you know? So I'm just like, what's the point in this? If your partner does not like me to that extent that you feel like I can't come see your child, you know what I'm saying? This is a huge deal.
Y'all's child. You guys' child that y'all had made together.
Exactly.
Out of love.
Yes. If that's the case,
and
then
I'm just celebrating that.
I'm just celebrating y'all child together. I'm gonna get you a gift. Like, it's
right.
I might get her a mommy basket. Like, I don't, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
If I can't do that, then what is the point of this? We're not actually friends, and it's okay. Like, go be with her. Like, that's fine. Like, we're not together, So I want you to be happy. Mm-hmm. This woman is bringing your child into the world. If I don't want to cause any problems, mm-hmm. And I don't like that you're not telling her that we're talking and stuff we're not doing anything, and I feel dirty.
Right.
I feel dirty. We're not doing anything. And so
you feel dirty because he's basically kind of keeping
a secret. That's not right. I always think about what I would want my partner doing, and I would not want my partner talking to some girl and not telling me. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that I disapprove of. So I know that she had no reason to disapprove of me, but it doesn't matter. That's who he's with. So we can just stop being friends. Like,
I think ever since this coronavirus happened, a lot of friends of the opposite sex that kind of went down to an all-time low because they're with their mate all the time.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If unless they're working,
right?
Essential workers. Shout out to all our essential workers
That's
out there.
Right.
But yeah, if you with your mate all the time and you don't catch that phone call on the drive home or whatever, it's kind of hard to catch him or her in the house, or that may be a good telltale sign that he probably or she probably had you in a possible range, keeping you a secret.
Yes, exactly. So and then I was also like, I had other male friends that had children, and I guess I just had much better relationships with their partners because they all came over to the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, they brought their children over to the house so I can see their kids, like the wife. And if she wanted to, I don't know if it was a thing with that. Like, my male friend didn't say like, oh, my wife has to come. Sure, she can come. Like, wonderful, great. Like, I want to see all of y'all. Right. Like, but so I was already used to that sort of environment. And for him to not be that way, I can't see your child. Like, no, I'm used to seeing my male friends' children and their wives. Like,
yeah, it's so many. It's a lot of scandalous people out here. Mm-hmm. So it's important for you, whoever's the friend. It's important for this is what I'm understanding, right? I'm new to this too, right? Mm-hmm. But it's important to really push out the idea of, hey, how you got to really speak about the other person's partner, your friend's partner. Mm-hmm. Hey, how is your wife? Hey, how is your, tell your wife I said hello, mm-hmm. Hey, you just really got to push that out there so your friend will know that, look, I want to be cool with all that. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no secret stuff going on my end.
Exactly.
So I think the more you do that, the more that everybody know what's what. You got to draw these lines, but I guess without being so upfront with it. But I don't know, society's kind of changing now, where we're more upfront with our feelings now, which I think is somewhat of a good thing, right? Mm-hmm. So some people just kind of like beating around the bush, but yeah, just draw those lines, and if I guess we can come up with some ways to help people draw these lines to to make sure that everybody knows what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about those. So those were the only two scenarios that I can think of that I would kind of be like, oh, well, maybe, maybe you shouldn't have friends of the opposite sex. But I will say that as we talk about like moving forward with this in relationships, I just think that every couple definitely needs to do what's best for them. I think that if you are a couple that feel like, no, we don't need to have friends of the opposite sex, that's your decision to make as a couple.
Right.
Jason and I are not like that. We do have friends of the opposite sex. So I just kind of want to give like a little background on why we're so comfortable with that. Okay. You want to go first or you want me to go first?
We country. That's how.
Your country? Okay. Explain.
Southern hospitality, man. We're from a small hometown, Brinkley, Arkansas. Shout out to BTO. That's Brinkley taking over. And so population was, when we was coming up, was 2,500 around or so, but it's drastically reduced now. But what I'm saying is all of us was like family, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people in Brinkley were actually family.
Right. I got so many cousins. It's crazy. Yeah.
But I wasn't from there. I was originally from Dallas, so I came in. But yeah, so we kind of grew up together. We had one elementary, one high school.
We didn't even have a middle school.
No. It's just what it is. You just cross the field and then boom, now you're in high school.
Yes.
So we was all close. Everybody knew everybody. So it was just everybody was cool with everybody. That's just what it was. So that's where our foundation come from.
Right, definitely. So yes, our foundation, Jason and I are from the same hometown, and that was our same experience. So we saw our friends, our classmates. Again, it's one of those towns where your classmates' first and last name, their family,
probably know their middle name,
their middle name, their birthday.
You wave at everybody that drive by because you know who they are.
Right.
If it's a stranger, you calling somebody. So I saw somebody in a white car with some Tennessee tags. Who is that? Oh, girl, that ain't nobody. That's such and such cousin.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They in town,
Yeah.
So definitely, like, we had friends of the opposite sex. Our high school classmates were our friends, right?
Right.
And I think that, like, we did see each other as sisters, brothers, cousins, and things like that. Right. And it just is what it is. So it was very easy for me, right? And Jason to have this, idea about things, about friends of the opposite sex. So, but like I said, as time goes on, I don't know. Maybe because I did go to college and I met new men or new guys, right? Mm-hmm. Where, I just felt like they were just waiting for me to break up or for something bad to happen with my ex, and then they swoop in and try to,
call them vultures. Well, that's what a vulture does.
Well, it was, I don't know. I mean, I would feel like a vulture. Well, I guess it
don't actually, the vulture doesn't kill you.
Yeah.
The vulture sees you weak, sees you, at your weakest, and it waits for you to die. and then it swoop in.
So wait for the relationship to die, and then it swoops in.
Yeah.
Because they didn't actually, none of them, again, about boundaries, none of them said anything or did anything boundary crossing while I was with my boyfriend,
because they knew how serious you was about being like for real, and they looking like, wow, I want that as a girl, because I'm throwing everything I got, or I've heard other people try to get at her and it didn't work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And dude got game, he got money.
Yeah.
And shoot, I got to come with a different approach.
Right.
So yeah, that's what that was all about.
So it was shocking for me because I was like, oh, okay. So we weren't really friends, basically.
Unfortunately, no. Sorry. Got to hit you with no. Sorry, you didn't have the friend that you thought you had. It's okay.
So has this ever happened to you, Jason?
What, did I have friends that try to come at me?
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe. I'm so naive to the point where I don't even know. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm just so cool, and I don't know. I just be thinking about, I don't know. What I think is what I think everybody else thinks. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's so wrong to think that way, especially when I was younger. So maybe I did have some girls that liked me more than, and I just saw them as a friend. Just didn't. If I didn't see you that way, I didn't see you. I'm an aggressive dude. If I'm gonna come at you, I'm gonna come at you. You know what I'm saying? I don't. Maybe some girls did think that,
but you didn't. No.
If I didn't pull the trigger, I had you was a friend. Yeah, you was a friend to me.
So, what makes a woman a friend and not somebody that you're interested in?
That's a great question. I think number one, it starts with. I don't know. I guess it starts with the. I want to say attraction, but not necessarily, because you could be cool or friends with somebody that's attractive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't think it's attraction.
Well, it's an attraction to them or not, because I've had attractive friends, but I'm not attracted to them, and I don't really know what it is that.
Well, it's their personality.
Yeah.
Part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then some of the things that maybe some of their core values are different than yours.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So it's the deep stuff.
Yeah.
So yes. So attraction to them.
Yeah, I guess the full-fledged attraction overall, not just attraction physically, but just attraction overall.
So
as a person.
This is interesting, I think, for women to hear, because I've heard like some women say when they see a female come around their male friend, their husbands or spouses, like she's too attractive, right? Like, physically, you can't be friends with her because she's too pretty, right?
And that's that. You don't need to. I understand that can seem like that's. That's what I guess, I don't know, that's what we look for. We look for just to be the prettiest girls around, but that's not always the case. You know what I'm saying? It's like sometimes like you said, you'll be attracted to different things, and it's the eternal thing. It's the insides that counts the most. So pretty ain't got nothing to do with it.
Well, I was a tomboy, for those who do not know, and I've been around a lot of very lewd conversations with men.
So you heard the guy talk, basically.
I've heard the guy talk, and yes, I realized that some men, I ain't gonna say all men, some men they don't care what the woman looks like, really.
Right.
So I very quickly understood that if a man wants to cheat, like. A lot of times women are surprised when they see the woman who their man cheated with, because they're like, she's not even that attractive. Like, I'm more attracted to her. Like, you could at least when they got somebody more attractive than that. Like, it doesn't matter. Right. That's not what it's about. It's something else happening.
And sometimes, like you said, here's a good example. They may be more compatible sexually. You know what I'm saying? And you don't even know that because y'all not communicating sexually. You know what I'm saying? You're not really communicating on what he likes or what he don't like. Right. And so then, when you try to when the guy tries to bring it up, say, hey, I like this, little fellatio. So then it's like, after so many times of asking that question or say, hey, what's up? Then he just like, well, forget it. I guess I just got to get it up. But then his friend may end up talking about, or some girl may come into a coworker may come in, and then she get to licking her lips or something, and then get to talking about how she do this and do that. Then now he's getting attracted to that.
Yeah, well, let's be clear. We're not condoning.
We're not condoning it. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing out a scenario. I'm just throwing out a scenario.
Yeah. So we're not condoning you doing that just because your woman won't do it.
No, you just got to communicate. That's what that goes to.
Okay.
If that's what you want, you got to communicate it.
Yes. Yeah, I have to work that out.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly. I'm just saying how it could happen. I'm just giving you a good scenario.
Okay.
Of how it could happen.
Of an emotionally immature man.
Yes. And an emotionally immature woman.
Well, it depends. Like I said, some things are, hey, marriage is a big deal to me. So some things I'll do as a married woman, but not as a,
Understandable.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think those lines or those rules or whatever, I think those need to be talked about. You need to be put out there. Okay, hey, as a girlfriend, I would not be doing none of that. But as a wife, I could. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's for my husband. I do that.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with saying that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of times that, you know, sometimes we give up too much too early.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, you know, sometimes you be in a place where you don't want to be.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes. Yeah. So, okay. So let's go to boundaries. And so, okay, Jason and I agree that we have friends of the opposite sex. We're cool with it. But there always got to be some boundaries.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, this is a woman and this is a man. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, is still your relationship needs protecting. And I don't think that, like, as strong as me and Jason's relationship is, I don't think that you can just like, free willy just do certain things and not expect certain things could possibly happen as a result of those things.
Right.
Right? Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Did I say that correctly? So this is, if you're making a decision to have friends of the opposite sex, you all need to decide together what the boundaries will be. It needs to be a conversation. You need to sit down and talk about this and get very specific. So we're going to talk about some of the things that Jason and I do. Okay.
When you say you said not all three of y'all, the friend, the significant other, and the other significant other. Mm-hmm. You're talking about
the partners.
Your partners need to talk, and then the friend, people that's in the friends need to talk.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. So and I did do some research on this, but a lot of the research that I found is stuff that I really agree with and stuff that we were already doing. But this is the first rule that I would say, is that to always remember, especially if this is your spouse, that your spouse should be your best friend. Mm-hmm. Sometimes people get in trouble because they talk to their friend more than they talk to their partner.
Right.
It's like, no, you know.
But why is that? Why do they talk to their friend more than they talk to their partner?
So if you have like a long-term best friend, like I actually don't think that, I don't know, like if you can actually have a best friend of the opposite sex and be married. You know what I'm saying? To the opposite sex. Like, I don't know if you can do that. I never had that issue. Like I never said any of my male friends were my best friends, because your best friend knows a lot of stuff about you. Very vulnerable, very deep, personal things that your partner should be knowing.
That's you.
What you mean?
See, some people categorize a friend as a friend, and some people don't tell their best friend all those deep things, right? They may tell their wife or their significant other, but they may not tell their friend.
I'm talking about best friend.
Even best friend.
So we have different definitions of best friends.
Yeah, some people don't tell their best friends everything.
I'm not saying that you have to tell them everything.
They might not even tell them 50%. Some people are to themselves, like really.
Okay, yes. Mm-hmm. But so my definition that we're operating when I'm giving this advice right now is best friend as a person that you tell a lot of vulnerable, personal, deep things to.
Right.
Which is what I do with you.
Okay.
So if I had, so you asked like, how could that happen or why would people do that? It could be a couple of things. One is that you could have had a best friend of the opposite sex. Mm-hmm. That is, and maybe we should throw heterosexual in there, because I do know some people have best friends of the opposite sex, but they're homosexuals. Mm-hmm. So there's no, some people will be fine with that, right? Because they're not attracted to, the opposite sex, right? They're attracted to the same sex. So a heterosexual best friend of the opposite sex, okay, maybe they were been best friends for forever, 12 years. And then their friend gets married. Mm-hmm. Now they're used to operating a certain way with their best friend and telling their best friend everything. They've been best friends for years. But where now does the spouse fit in now that they've gotten married?
Get in where you fit in.
Get in where you fit in.
Yeah.
I am your wife. Like,
what I'm saying is, this is what I mean by get in where you fit in.
Explain that.
So when you have friends, you just communicate with your friends about different things, right? So we got to figure out what my wife is willing to communicate with me with, right? So if we're going to talk about sex, We're going to talk about, let's say, maybe money, how we manage our money. You see what I'm saying? We're going to talk about certain things that's deep and dark, maybe, right? So you should, right? But you may not. What if let's say I have a friend girl with, that loves football, right? I'm gonna talk to her about football.
That's not what
you don't talk about football. That's
not what I'm talking about.
Well, I'm just giving you my perspective and some of the guys' perspective. You're a woman.
I'm totally fine with you talking to your female friend about football. If
Okay.
she likes football.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So
I'm talking about deep, intimate conversations.
I don't necessarily have to have a deep, intimate conversation with my female friend. I don't have those.
She ain't your best friend then.
What?
I'm your best friend.
Right.
That's what we're talking about a difference of, you got to keep going back to the word best friend and how I'm defining best friend.
Or how you define the best friend. Remember this, y'all, how she's defined it.
I think that a lot of people define best friend the way that I'm defining it right now.
But some people can have okay, let's do this. So you have a scale from 1 to 10, right? Mm-hmm. All right. So 1 is being the least, 10 is being the best, right? Mm-hmm. So you can have 4 friends, right? One friend is rated at a 2. One friend is rated at a 3. One friend is rated at a 6, and one friend is rated at a 5. So, but you're not, just because you're a 6, you're my best friend, right?
Okay.
Because you're my best friend, but that still doesn't mean you made it to the 10 level mark where I tell all my intimate stuff.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So you can have a best friend, but they're still not that deep with me yet.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes. And they should never get that deep.
Okay. So they're not even a 9, they're not even an 8, 7, they're a 6.
Okay.
So just because I have a best friend doesn't necessarily mean I will tell them a lot of stuff.
But again, I just think that you're getting hung up on the word best, and you're taking it.
They're
as
my best friend.
Like
out of all my friends. Out of all my friends, they are the best.
They're like your good friend. They're a good friend.
They're
to
my
you.
best friend out of all of my friends.
Okay, we're spending a lot of time on this. I think a lot of people define, when you say best friend, they define it the way that I'm talking, as a person that you tell a lot of intimate things to. Very intimate conversations.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of guys out there they do not tell a lot of intimate stuff with their quote unquote best friend girl, just because, I'm just saying.
I'm saying that they shouldn't. That's the point.
Right.
That's the point. That means that, okay, they have a good friend, but my definition of best friend is a person that you tell intimate things to.
But what I'm saying is they still could be considered a best friend.
Okay. I know, Jason.
Right, let's move forward. I'm just saying. I just want to get the rules laid out.
But I think that the way that you saying it, a lot of people don't see it that way. Okay. A lot of people see it my way.
Well, let me be the voice for the little people.
So anyways, a friend that you're telling a lot of intimate things to, there's got to be some boundaries with that, because when you tell people all your vulnerabilities and all your deep desires and goals and, all of these things about you, that's where intimacy comes from.
Yeah.
When you keep having deep conversations about life and all these wonderful things, and all these bad things or whatever,
What about motivational?
No, your friend can be motivated.
That's deep.
I mean, they shouldn't be doing too much motivation, like in comparison to your partner. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be running. Okay, so I never motivate you. Like if your partner never motivates you and you always run into a friend to get motivation, I think that you can start becoming attracted to that, because that's something that's missing from your partner.
I agree with
Whatever is missing from your partner, if they can help it, we need to be talking about that.
But some people are more motivational than others, even than your partner.
Exactly.
So it's like if you, let's say you're best friends with Tony, or you not even best friend, you're friends with Tony Robbins, right? Okay. Right. Yeah. And all of us should know who Tony Robbins is. It's a motivational speaker, multi-millionaire, genius, right? Mm-hmm. So should you, like, if you're friends with him, is it okay to get motivation from him?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think that the key with that is that I think that you need to try to get it from both places. The danger of that is, okay, I'm feeling unmotivated or I'm feeling sad about something. Let's just use this for an example. And I don't even talk to you about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I go talk to one of my male friends because I know he's motivational.
Right.
Well, I still need to talk to you about it too.
True that.
You know what I'm saying?
True that.
Because you need to know
right.
how I'm feeling. You need to know I'm feeling unmotivated or down, or, you know, I can't just run to them
right.
to get motivation.
Right.
You need to know that.
That's one of the core things that you need from your mate.
Yeah, so even though they may be able to provide something, a piece of advice that you wasn't able to provide, you didn't think about, or you're not just...
Should be just, extra.
Yeah, it should be. I mean, it's just the point of you knowing me and understanding that I'm going through this at this time and us connecting on that, you know. Like, I need to know that you're stressed. I need to know what's bothering you.
Right.
And I think
men, we kind of do that a lot. We kind of keep that to ourselves, you know, when we stressed out or going through. So we want to make sure, because we drive in a car, right? So, you know, a lot of times, right? And so we want to, that's why y'all say, well, are we lost? Like, we just stop to get direction. It's like, nah, we ain't lost. We got this. You know what I'm saying? We want to let you know that we are in control, even though sometimes we may not be in control, but we are in control. You know, we want to have that image, you know, because if we seem like we're not in control in our heads, it's like, well, maybe you may not like me anymore or something. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? You may not trust me anymore.
Right.
You know, if I'm not in control, but it's okay to be not in control because nobody technically really is. You know right. We're going to go deep with it. Right. So it's actually okay, fellas and the ladies that are, you know, so hardcore on trying to be in control. It's okay to express those vulnerabilities because that's what love is about.
Yes, and if you're going to express it, you definitely need to express it with your partner is what I'm saying. Right. You know, and not some friend that's a woman and you're in your mind thinking like, oh, she just know how to motivate me so well and my wife didn't. Well, you didn't give her a chance. You know what I'm saying?
Or maybe he did give her a chance and she came at him wrong.
Well, that's a different sort
of.
But
he still need to have a conversation like, hey, I don't like how you came at me.
Exactly. So if y'all not working out,
you got to work through it.
You got to work through it. But you run and go
don't
get
be
that
so
need.
quick to run. Yeah.
Yes, you getting that need met from somewhere else. You're going to start getting attracted to that person.
Right.
It's just like normal, natural, you know, thing. So that's the danger of that. So if you go get a motivation from one of your guy friends, there's no danger in that at all.
It may be.
Well. If you're heterosexual and not attracted to men, there's no danger in that.
Right.
But if you're attracted to women and she is meeting a need that your partner isn't meeting, then there's some danger.
Right.
Danger, danger, danger.
Danger with Robertson.
So yeah, and there's a movie called Brown. Is it called Brown Sugar with Taye Diggs and Sanaa Lathan? You got a crush on Sanaa Lathan. You should know all her.
I think she's a fine actress.
She's a beautiful woman, so you know I get it. But whatever. So yeah, like
don't forget about Ashanti. I used to like Ashanti a lot.
Yeah,
back in the day.
So this was like this is what this movie was about. Sanaa Lathan and Taye Diggs were friends and supposedly best friends, but you know, something had happened where they kind of realized that they were attracted to each other, but they wanted to continue to be friends and pretend like this attraction wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? But Taye Diggs was married to someone else, and he decided to quit his job, and he told Sanaa Lathan, his best friend, first, right? And he didn't tell his wife, right?
Right.
And you know, when he told her that, you know, he had already talked to his best friend, you know, she was upset. I was like, I understand that, right?
Right.
And she ended up kind of like dating somebody else, kind of like cheating on him, but I don't think she actually physically cheated on him. But really, he really set her up, really, you know, to fail, because she said that I'm begging to get things from him, like for him to communicate with me,
right? And
you already got it,
right?
His best friend, you know, Sanaa Lathan, his best friend,
right?
So it was like, no, she was the one that he was supposed to be with, right? And he should have just did that instead of trying to go after another woman, but really getting married to another woman, but really not opening up to her the way that he had always opened up to his best friend.
Right.
Because that's just not fair.
Right.
You were in my place.
Right.
I'm not, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm his wife, but you're actually getting all of the emotional information first, you know.
And to clarify what I was speaking of earlier, your wife should be your best friend on 10, and your friend can be your best friend on 6. You know what I'm saying? Just to kind of, for the people that's following me on that.
I know y'all feeling me, and I know y'all's wondering why Jason just keep saying this, because y'all got the same definition of best friend as I do. I know it. I'm very clear about it. I already know.
Maybe.
So
somebody might listen to this in the future in 2020, 2075. Like, man, I see what Jason talking about. Man, that dude was on point.
So again, like what we were talking about earlier, if your friend is truly your friend, they will want you to have a great relationship with your partner.
For sure.
And they would not want to get in the way of that, right? So if it needs to come down to you all not being friends anymore, I've made that decision because I want the best for this person that has been my friend. Sometimes things are seasonal, you know?
Right.
So I guess, I guess you agree with me on a friendship number 10,
Yeah.
that your partner should be that. And
sure.
if you did have a friend that was your best friend, that's level 10, right?
Right.
Before you got married.
No friend, quote unquote, should be higher than your significant other, especially your wife. No friend should be on a higher intimacy level or more. If it's easier to tell your friend, especially if it's if it's an opposite sex friend,
mm-hmm.
than it is to tell something to your wife or your husband, then y'all got to have a conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And
both of y'all,
mm-hmm.
you need to have a conversation with your friend. You need to have a conversation with your wife, and there need to be some adjustments. Say, hey, friend, I just feel more comfortable telling you about this stuff, but I'm failing to have that conversation with my significant other, with my wife or husband.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna have to make a little bit of adjustments. It's all good, because we friends anyways. Who cares? They should be supportive. Like, why you wasn't telling her? Boy, you should have been. They should be supportive.
Mm-hmm.
So then, boom, you had a conversation with your husband or wife, and make those adjustments, because you should be going to them. Yeah. I know when I was excited about a situation where when said entertainer, when they sent that video, well, I already told you about it, right? But you didn't know it was here, and I was so excited I didn't even tell you first. I just posted it in our family group chat. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what do you feel about that situation?
Oh, it's fine.
Okay.
That's not like,
I mean, I know.
It's not a deep, intimate thing.
Yeah. But I should be able to share my, it was exciting for us to have Cedric Entertainer too.
Well, that just kind of goes back to your personality. You're like so excited. Now, if you say you were applying for a new job and you call somebody else to tell them, and like you get the job and you call somebody else to tell them that you got the job before me, then that would make me upset.
What if I called you and you didn't pick up the phone? And I'm just so excited. I got to tell somebody.
I think I might be okay with that.
Okay.
I mean, hopefully I would pick up the phone and sharing your excitement,
But what you calling me for? I'm at work.
I would never do that, actually, because...
I'm just saying somebody else's situation.
Yeah.
Oh, what you calling me for? I got these kids. I don't have time.
Yeah.
But go for it.
Yeah, so yeah, that was exciting, but that wasn't like, life-altering sort of news.
Yeah.
Excitement. So if you called somebody else with life-altering excitement before you talk to me... I just won a lotto. Oh, yeah, you got to call me first. Right. Like, excuse you? Why would you call somebody else?
Right. About to run off.
Yeah, you about to run off with them. That's what you're doing. So this is a really, really important conversation.
Sure is. Yeah.
And we have a lot more to talk about boundaries and what those look like in our relationship, and give you some advice about what they could possibly look like in yours.
Right.
So we're going to break it off and do another episode here.
Hey.
So make sure you join us next week. Like I said, we're going to talk about some more boundaries and talk more about our relationship.
Hey, catch y'all next time. Thank y'all for listening. Don't forget, live discussion Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. I want you to see you. I want to see there. Be there or be square. Right?
Right.
All right. Catch y'all next week. Peace out.
Bye. You've been listening to the Loveology podcast. Did you have fun with us today? Tell a friend about our show. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to keep the conversation going. Be sure to subscribe so you'll never miss an episode. Visit us at loveologypodcast.com. Thanks for listening. Until next time, Loveologists.